Place bets versus buy bets. What's the difference? Hey everyone, it's Mike. Welcome back to my channel. So I don't really have a strategy per se to show today or to review, but I did want to talk a little bit about place bets and buy bets. What the difference is between them, how they get calculated, why they came about, and which ones are better to use in what circumstances. So I think if we just bring up a table. If you just bring up a table, you'll see that you can do place bets or buy bets um, here on the 4 and the 10, and you can only do a place bet on the 5, 6, 8, and 9. Now, I think when we first started playing the the $500 table, the you could do a buy bet on the 5. But I I know it's a lot to try to calculate, and I created this table over here on the right. The number that's bold is the bet size. So if you think about it, what I have highlighted in yellow is a very common $10 bet. What I have highlighted in green is a $25 bet. So a $10 bet on the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10, these are the payouts, a little bit smaller after the slash. Okay, so I know a lot of people have this memorized, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people just assume the dealer knows what they're doing, and they won't cheat you. And of course, if you're playing on a bubble craps, it's all in the computer algorithm. It calculates it to the penny, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But when you go to a table at a casino, they might have some 50-cent pieces, but they mostly have $1, $5, $10, $25, and $50 chips, $100 chips. They can't give you to the penny. And when that happens, they're going to round and they're going to round down in their favor. Let me give you a couple examples. So let's start with the place bets. Okay. The odds on these place bet payouts were determined by the casino, and it's pretty much an industry standard. And it's placed so that the house edge is already built in. So on the 4 and the 10, the payout is 9 for 5. On the 5 and the 9, it's 7 for 5. And on the 6 and the 8, it's 7 for 6. So if you really wanted to calculate this out, if you took a $10 bet and put it on the 4 and it hit, you would take your $10, divide it by the second number in the ratio. So divide it by the 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then 2 times the 9 is 18. Okay. On the 5, 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. On the 6 and 8, you cap those to 12. And this is why we cap. It makes these odds payouts easy and to the dollar. There's no uh, 10 cents or 5 cents or pennies. So you cap the 6 and the 8 on a $10 bet, you cap them to 12 because now 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay. So your 5, 6, 8, and 9 all pay 14. Your 4 and your 10 pay 18. Okay. Let's look at the buy bet. If you buy the 4, okay, those use the true odds. The true odds on the 4 and the 10 are 2 to 1 minus your VIG. Your true odds on a buy bet on the 5 and the 9 is 3 to 2 minus the VIG. And even though you can't really do this, your true odds on a buy bet on the 6 and the 8, I got to fix that typo there. is 6 to 5 minus the VIG. So let's do an example here. Let's say a $10 bet on the 4, okay? $10 bet on the 4. 10 divided by 1 is 10, times 2 is 20, minus the VIG, okay? The VIG is usually 5%, but usually the casino will always charge $1. They'll round. So if the actual true odds on a $10 bet is 1950, the casino would probably pay you 19. They will round down. They'll take the whole dollar. Okay. So on a $25 bet on the 4, okay, 25 divided by 1 is 25, times 2 is 50, minus your percentage is 48.75. The casino is going to probably take $2 and make it a $48. Okay. We can kind of test this out a little bit. Let's put a $25 place bet on the 4 and a $25 buy bet on the 10. Okay. Now here it's actually showing it's a $1 VIG. So probably probably above 25 they'll take the $2. But let's just see what this is. Let's just roll a little bit and see if we can get a 4 or a 10. And again, the 4 and the 10 pay the same. So if we roll a 4, that's the place bet we would get if our tables are right on a place bet on the $25 bet on the 4 would give us $45. Let's see if we can test that out. And again on the buy bet. So we'll just roll a few and try to get a 4 or a 10. See if we can't get that proven. Okay, there you go. There's the 4, and it's showing the 4 is a place bet, and it pays $45. So $25 on the 4 on a place bet pays $45. Now, just for giggles, let's move it to a buy bet. So now we roll a 4 or a 10, we'll get the payout of a buy bet. Okay, there's a 12. Let's see if we can get a 4 or a 10. There's the 10 right there. And it pays $49. So on the 10, I've got 48.75. It rounded and paid 49. That was a buy bet. Okay? So the things that you have to think about here are if you have the option to do a place or a buy, which one would you do and why? Okay? So the easiest way to understand this is just look at the $25 bet. Place bets on a $25 bet on the 4 and the 10 win 45. Buy bets win 49. That's a $4 difference. So obviously when you get to $25 or higher, you want to do a buy bet. Even the lower numbers do show a lot. So even a $5 bet, a $5 place bet on the 4 wins 9. A $5 buy bet on the 4 pays 9.75. If you're playing bubble craps, it will calculate it to the penny, 9.75. So when you can play buy bets, you should. When would you not want to play a buy bet? And if you look at the table, it's going to be on the 6 and the 8. Look here on a 6, a $25 bet on a 6 you would cap to 30. Okay, it pays 35. On a buy bet, that $25 bet you cap it to 30, it's going to only pay 28 or 29. Okay, it's because of the payout true odds minus the VIG versus the payouts that the casinos have calculated that puts their house edge automatically in. So I basically have it down here in bold. You can, if you can buy the 4, 5, 9, and 10, you should, and you should always place the 6 and 8. Okay, so I'm hoping that explains a little bit because I notice a lot of videos that show bubble craps on their videos. They will just automatically start putting bets across, and if they put in a $25 bet across. The 6 and the 8 would be place bets, and the 4, 5, 9, and 10 would be buy bets. Let me see if I can show that. If we take this down and we put $25 across, let's turn our 6 and 8 on. Let's go across. You notice that, first of all, it caps the 6 and the 8 for us, and those are place bets, but it automatically put the $25 bet on the 4 and the 10 on the buy bet. So Crapsy kind of does it for you automatically. A lot of the casinos, from what I understand, will automatically pay you as a buy bet. If you if you see a layout at the casino, they don't have a separate position for a buy bet versus a place bet. So if you tell the dealer you want 25 across, they're going to put 25 across with capping the 6 and the 8 to 30. But when they pay those off, they will pay the 4 and the 10 as if they were buy bets. They will always pay the 6 and the 8 as if they were place bets, and the 5 and the 9 is really depending on the casinos. A lot of the casinos will pay those out as if it was a buy bet, but as you can see on our Crapsy instance, we don't have the option for a 5 to be a buy bet at the $15 um, at the $1,500 uh, table. If we set up as a on a $500 table, I think that's different. Let's go back and do a $500 table. Okay, you see this here? You have buy and place on the 4 and the 5 and the 9 and the 10. So if I say 25 across, it puts buy bets on the 4 and on the 5. Place bets, it has no option but to make those on the 6 and 8 place bets. And on the 9 and 10, those are both buy bets. Now, if I take that down and just do a $5 across, it's still so Crapsy will always put a buy bet. It looks like it will always put a buy bet on the 4, 5, 9, and 10. Okay. So even though you don't have the designation on the table as buy or place, you could always ask the dealer at the casino, are you paying the 5 and the 9? Are you paying those as if they were buy bets or place bets? And they'll let you know. So um, this was always a little confusing to me, but I went ahead and created this table, and it's small enough that I could probably print this off and put it on my phone or keep it with me when I go to the casino. And it's not because we don't trust the dealers, but the dealers can get very busy. They're human. They can make a mistake. So you just need to make sure that they're paying you correctly, and and you need to know if they're paying true odds as if it were a buy bet, or on house odds where it's in the casino's favor as it would be on a place bet. And obviously you want a casino that's going to pay you in, as much in your favor as possible. So again, a $25 bet on a 5 pays 35 on a place bet, pays 36 and a quarter, and they'd probably round that down to 36. So you get an extra dollar if you say buy the 5 and 9 for 25. But if you just say put 25 on the 5 and 9, you need to kind of watch and see how are they paying those off. Okay? I hope that makes a little sense. Um, just I mean, we've got a couple minutes. We could probably just, for giggles, look at some of these. Let's just let's go ahead and just leave it at $10 across, capping the 6 and 8 at 12. Let's see if these work out right. So if I roll and there's a 2, let's just see if we can get a couple hits and see how they pay out. So far we have 2 craps numbers. Let's go ahead and get a box number. There's a 6. Okay, the 6 paid 14. Now, obviously, it pays 14 because its only option is a place bet. Okay, so the place bet, it pays 7 to 6. So you take your $12 because you've capped the 6, Take your $12, divide it by 6, that's 2, multiplied by 7 is 14. That's how you get your payout. Okay? Let's see if we can get a 4, 5, 9, or 10, see how they're paying those out. There's an 8 that also, so the 6 and 8 pay 14. There's the 9. Okay? That's a $10 buy bet. So $10 buy on the 9 pays 14.50. Okay? So it's 10 divided by 2 is 5 times 3 is 15 minus the VIG, 50 cents, it pays 14.50. On Bubble Craps, it pays to the penny. At the casino, they would probably pay you 14. Okay? So if the place bet's 14 and they're going to pay you the buy bet at 14 because they round down, then it doesn't really matter if they're paying you house odds or true odds. It's still going to be 14. Okay. But when you get to like the $25 level, it's either going to be 35 or 36 and a quarter, round it down. So probably 36. So there's definitely $1 in your advantage if they pay out as if it was a buy bet. Let's go ahead and put 25 on, and let's see if we can get a couple examples here. Let's just do 25 across. Again, well, there's a 7. Let's get set back up again. Again, they're putting the um, 4, 5, 9, and 10 as buy bets. So let's see if we can get a 4, 5, 9, or 10. There's a 6. The 6 is going to pay 35 on either. They don't pay true odds on the 6 or 8 because the true odds would actually pay less. So that's your advantage to leave those as always leave those as place bets. Let's see if we can get a 4 or 5. There's a 4. Okay. So a place bet of 25, a place bet of 25 pays 45. We just got paid 48.75, which is much, $3.75 higher. Now, even if they round down and pay you 48, that's still $3 higher in your advantage. So when you can, you do a buy bet on Bubble Craps or any electronic machine. Hopefully, your casino will pay out these winnings as if they were buy bets. You might ask them, at what point does the 4 stop paying a place bet and start paying a buy bet? It might be a $20 level. Okay, so you just have to ask them. So that's going to be my video for today. If you like this table, maybe screenshot it and either print it out or screen capture it and save it to a file and put that file on your phone, and just make sure you're getting paid the way you should be. And again, humans will make a mistake. You can play the bubble craps, but some people say the bubble craps machines are programmed not to pay out as well. They're not really random rolls. That's up to you to decide. Okay. So that's going to do it for our video for today. Hope everyone's having a great day. And as always, thanks for watching.